Hey everyone, so there's a lot of Kevin Fiala trade rumors, and we're in May, the offseason this summer. There's going to be probably a lot of moves, a lot of movement, whether it's RFAs. The free agent class is looking really interesting, but I want to talk about Kevin Fiala because there's been a lot of rumors around him. And I think when you talk about Fiala, it's a guy that's really broken out as an underrated elite player. He put up over a point per game this year, and he's a guy that was really valuable to the Wild in how they finished in the season. So if Fiala does get traded, I want to go over some teams that I think could go after Fiala, unless the Wild can figure out his contract situation and sign him to a deal. So let's go over the teams and talk about scenarios. Starting with the Columbus Blue Jackets. So the Jackets have a lot of guys that have been kind of in and out of rumors, whether it's Laine, whether it's Roslovic, go down the list. Even some of their younger defensemen that potentially could be on the move at some point. Will they keep their goaltenders? I think for the Blue Jackets, they're maybe one of the less likely teams to go after Fiala, but in terms of younger assets, in terms of assets that could be moved as well, I think they are a fit. The Red Wings, I think Stevie Y is trying to go after some more top six guys, some more top six talent to fill out with guys like Raymond, Larkin, go down the list. They've had guys that haven't really filled out the way they've expected, like Rasmussen, like Zadina, so they could be of interest. They could be part of the package going the other way. But I do think the Red Wings are another team that could be under the radar for Fiala. The Vancouver Canucks, there's been a lot of rumors. There was that big rumor going around of Besser for Fiala. I think if a guy like JT Miller was to be dealt, I think the Wild would go after a guy like JT Miller, and maybe Fiala goes the other way. I think the Canucks would have that interest in Fiala, a younger option and more team control there. But maybe the Wild, again, are trying to take advantage of what they have now, or they could go in a different direction with those Parise and Suter contracts. They do have younger guys coming, like look at what Boldy did this year. Rossi's on his way, and a bunch of other guys. The LA Kings, they need wingers, and they have centers they could trade. They have younger centers they could trade, whether it's Velarde, whether it's Byfield. I don't think they're going to trade Byfield. Even Turcotte they've got there. So I think in terms of the Wild, who they want to build after Rossi, and they have, obviously, Eriksson Ek. The Wild and Kings could actually be a really good fit here. The Montreal Canadiens, I think they could go after him. The Habs have a lot of guys that they probably move in the offseason in terms of it. Just the timing doesn't make sense in terms of some of the guys they have, whether it's like a Mike Hoffman. They have Joel Armia, who they might want to trade. They have a few other guys there. Will they move a Jeff Petrie? But I do think the Wild and Habs could be a fit here in terms of, as I said, Fiala and entering, I would say, his best years. We just saw what he did this past year, so I think Montreal could also be an underrated team. The Devils, I've seen a lot of articles, a lot of people talking about the Devils going after Fiala. Again, if the Devils and Wild wanted to make a trade, the Devils could use one of their centers as maybe a centering piece there, but I think at the same time, the Devils also have flexibility in terms of their contract situations. The Islanders, there was some rumors that Lou Lamoriello, the Islanders, want that offense, want more offense, and they have a lot of pieces the Wild could benefit from. I think they did dump Trotz, so I think in terms of a guy like Wahlstrom, I think the Islanders want to keep Wahlstrom, but they have other guys that maybe the Wild would be interested in. I wonder if a Bellows could be part of this package, but there has been some rumors that the Islanders are interested in Fiala. The Ottawa Senators, they have prospects. I saw an article suggesting maybe Shane Pinto would be part of the package back to the Wild. I know the Sens, they're trying to figure out what their goaltender for the future is going to be. Is that Philip Gustafsson? The Wild also have a lot of goaltending question marks in terms of, yes, they have Wallstead now for the future, but are they going to bring back Fleury? Are they going to have Cam Talbot long term? What's going to be the Wild goaltending situation for the next couple of years? Because Wallstead's probably still a couple of years at least away. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, a hot take, but the Leafs want to shake things up potentially in the offseason, not blow it up. But in terms of, I've already seen like the Nylander rumors going around, and in terms of two guys the Leafs could target at the Wild would be a Fiala and maybe a Jordan Greenway in terms of what they actually need. So I think in terms of Kevin Fiala, there's a lot of teams I would be interested in. Comment what you guys think on Fiala, if you think Fiala is going to get dealt. I could just see a scenario where the Wild like Fiala, but again, at times he wasn't inconsistent over the last couple of years, but this year he went off, and I think he had a really productive year. I think he showed on a contract year that he can be a really reliable top six guy, but the consistency's got to be better. But when Fiala gets hot, he's one of the best on the ice. So I think Kevin Fiala is definitely an underrated name and a name to look out for in the offseason. So hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, do all that good stuff. But Fiala could be a big target this offseason for a trade, or like I said, maybe the Wild sign him to a big deal.